Jack Welch, arguably the greatest CEO in the history of the world, who managed in General Electric for 25 years, he said there is no work-life balance. There are work-life challenges. We make decisions and we live with them. Do you think Elon Musk has work-life balance? No. Do you think Steve Jobs, when he was alive, had work-life balance? No. Do you think Bill Gates? No. Henry Ford? No. Original Heineken? No. So if none of those people that created the wealth of the world had work-life balance, why do you think you're going to have it? Why? Because you deserve it? I don't think so. You deserve what you get in life by working hard.
Notorious workaholic Elon Musk is so tied to his office that he's been known to sleep on the floor. I slept on the floor. Ford slept on the floor. Jobs slept on the floor. Gates slept on the floor. Success leaves clues, you weenies. I still work 50, 60 hours a week, and I haven't had to work in 35 years.
Follow what you're passionate about, what you love. If it's not work if you love what you're doing. Okay. Most people, when I say they're living quiet lives of desperation, is because they're involved in a business or a job that they don't enjoy, they're not passionate about. Okay. So if you found something that you're passionate about, that it doesn't matter if you work 3 hours a day or 13 hours a day, that's where you start. And most people aren't there. Most people have to find that. Clausewitz, the famous Prussian general, said, focus on the few, not the many. And the most common error that I see in reasonably successful businessmen and women are that they try to do too many things. And focus on the few, not the many. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates simultaneously said one word: focus. That's it, focus. And in the many years that I was 100% focused and I created a lot of wealth for myself, I only thought about one thing, and that was it. I'm not saying that it's easy, because if it were easy, there'd be like a QLA shop on every corner like Starbucks. My market is 700,000 people out of 7 billion. If you want to be me, 700,000 out of 7 billion. I don't know what fraction that is, but it's not a very big one. That's it. There's 700,000 people on the planet that can commit to the focus, the laser beam focus of the Gates, Trumps, Ellisons, etc. If you want to create generational wealth is wealth that you make in 20 to 25 years. Because depending on where you Google it, a generation is either 20 to 25 years. We do that, and I've taught, and I did it myself, how to do it in 4 to 7 years. And virtually throwing everything that you've learned or read out the window. But it's focus, and not that many people can stay focused. In fact, that's an understatement, a gross understatement. Hardly anybody can stay focused. Unless we build the right foundation, I mean, the house will be wobbly, and it'll be, we got to build the right foundation. And for the most part, most people in this room and most people listening on YouTube have to come to the realization, as sad as it is, that you have pissed, you have urinated heretofore up until this morning, your entire life down a hole. Very simple. That's it. If you want to create massive wealth. If you just want to be a happy, slappy housewife from Dundee, or a happy, slappy bimbo from Toronto, or a happy, slappy guy who goes to the Little League games in Mesa, Arizona, then that's okay. But if you want to create some money, and money's not everything. But if you don't think money can buy happiness, you don't know where to shop. You can get money and then go save the world. You can get money and save the forests in Brazil. You make money and go save global warming, which I don't believe in. You can, and save the kids in Biafra and all that shit. But without money, you can't save a thing. Don't you understand? Don't the idiots on YouTube understand that? We all know how to lose weight. We all know how to get physically fit. We all know how to build our businesses. I can go to the Yellow Pages today and pick out any business that's in this room, and I can find somebody that's beating your brains out. I don't care what you do. And as some of you have heard me say, but I'm going to say it again because it's important. For this example, again, we all have 100 IQ. For some of you, I'm giving you some. For some, I'm taking away some. We all know nobody can have 10 times our IQ. Well, then why the hell do people make 10 times more than we do, 1,000 times more than we do?
Why? Because they think and dream bigger than we do. High performance people have high expectations, not average expectations.
Prayer is great. Contemplation is great. But if you don't take action, 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 all the rest is wasted. And what the kids today have trouble with, they connote reading a book to taking action. And I'm not saying you shouldn't read, because I've read the classics, I've read Shakespeare and all that stuff. But it's not taking action. Taking action is pulling the trigger, going out and making something happen. And even if you fail.
Most of you have not attained material wealth because you've stayed in your comfort zone. Every family has an aunt, an uncle, a grandfather that went out and lost a family fortune, right? Uncle Harry, crazy Harry, he lost 20,000, 50,000, a million, whatever the number is. Well, that resonates in you, in your brain, your little pea brain. And then you hear another one. Your roommate in college, he's got an Uncle Harry. So pretty soon, the only input that you have is people losing their family fortune. That affects you, i.e. you then live within your comfort zone, i.e. you don't take risks. A turtle can only move forward when it sticks its head and its feet out. And when it sticks its head and its feet out, it's most vulnerable, right? Biggest risk. Most of you have lived a bubble-wrapped life. Most of you have been risk-averse.
Why you are where you are? Because you just didn't do it. You didn't want to make a mistake. You got a mortgage. You got 2 ex-wives. You got a 15-year-old daughter who's pregnant. Your dad's got Alzheimer's. Your mother's got emphysema, spitting up blood. I can go on and on and on and on. But the bottom line is, if you had 15 years ago, you had just done it. 10 years ago, you had just done it. 5 years ago, if you had just done it. 6 months ago, if you just done it, you probably wouldn't be in the position you're in now. So I'm saying no matter what your age is, it's still time to just go out and do it. Just go out and do it.
What are you going to tell your children? What are you going to tell your grandchildren? 20 years from now, Daddy, Grandpa, what were you doing during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the planet? Other than having your thumb up your ass. What are you going to tell them? Oh, I was thinking about it. I was spreadsheeting it. I am a world-class eulogy giver. And every single person I've buried, I normally go to see them, normally they ask me before they die. I go and I say, well, what do you want me to say? And they always say, oh, I'm sorry for it. I didn't take this risk. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Not that I missed my son's wedding. Not that I missed my 3rd grandchild's birth. All that sloppy, soppy shit. It's the risk they didn't take. If you are not experiencing anxiety, if your problems are not replaced as soon as you solve one with a bigger one that's geometrically bigger, then you're not growing. I hate to hear people tell me my business is running smoothly, everything's great. Well, then he might as well, or she might as well blow their brains out, because they sure as hell aren't growing. What my deal is all about is growing geometrically, quantumly. And just remember that and keep an open mind, because I have been there and done that. There's no question about that. Another thing, and I said this yesterday, just because you haven't done it, just because you've never been around somebody that hasn't done it, and just because you've never heard of it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Because absence of evidence is not evidence of their absence. I'm going to say some things that are real foreign to you. Some things that you've been taught by your parents, your grandparents in school, and basically all that is crap. I'm not talking about moral issues and things like that. Religion, I don't get into that. So just keep an open mind. The high performance people that I will continue to allude to all day long live in a different world than you. They came from the same world as you did, but they live in a different world. They think differently.